Wait before you just go to the main part. Just wait. Let me just introduce myself. Hello, guys. Welcome to MedBits, your exam savior. Now we will be only discussing the most important topics that you want to learn for your university exams. Now we will be posting notes on the subjects such as physiology, biomechanics, and biochemistry. Soon we'll be doing that too. So for either of your convenience, if you are a person who takes screenshot, if you're a screenshot person, do that. If you are a person who writes down the notes or anything, do that. That will be really good. Either of your convenience, do that. So let's begin. The wrist joint has 19 bones and 19 joints. 5 fingers out of which one is thumb. 8 carpal bones. Wrist articulation between radio-carpal joint and mid-carpal joint. Each finger has carpo-metacarpal joint and metacarpophalangeal joint. Each finger has 2 interphalangeal joints, which is PIP, proximal interphalangeal joint, and distal interphalangeal joint. Except thumb has only interphalangeal joint. Now guys, just use a diagram which I have shown you in the first slide, or you just try to search it out in the Google, so it will be really useful for you to understand which part is which. Okay, now coming to the diagram, as you can see, this is the radius and this is the ulna. The radius is away from the body, ulna is towards the body, and you can observe that when your hand is in supine position. And coming to the articulation, as you can see, the radius articulates much more than ulna, where ulna doesn't articulate with the carpal bones. I'll be talking about that. Where radius articulates to the scaphoid and lunate, where ulna actually doesn't articulate, but it is in a floating manner. And now coming to the names of the carpal bones, as you can see, scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum, pisiform, trapezium, trapezoid, capitate, hamate. Now make sure that you know the carpal bones. These can be asked for your viva, or it can be asked for your theory paper too. They may ask for 3 marks. What are the carpal bones, and yeah, related to something in that too. Now, the major contribution of wrist complex is to control length tension relationship in multi-articular hand muscles and to allow fine adjustment of grip. Right? This is something that we know, it's basic. Now, coming to the next point, wrist muscles are designed for balance and control rather than maximizing on torque production. Now, coming to the next, wrist complex as a whole is considered what? Yeah, biaxial, with motions of flexion, extension, and ulnar and radial deviation. Beware that you just know this, because it is also should be known as a basic learning too, right? You should know this. And coming to next, the range of motion of entire complex is variable and reflect differences in carpal kinematics due to ligamentous laxity, the shape of articular surfaces, and the constraining effect of muscles. The two joint rather than single joint complex provides large range of motion with what? A less articular surface, right? Less articular surface and a tighter joint capsule. Isn't it interesting? Like, just less articulation and just does lots of work that we need for our daily life, right? So now coming with the range of motions, as you can see here, flexion 50 to 60 degree, as you can see here, it goes down here, and extension, it just goes up 35 to 60, just all the way it just go to 60, but here, yeah, so it's different. And coming to extension, 35 to 60 degree. Ulnar deviation is 30 to 40 degree, and radial deviation is 25 to 30 degree. Just try to do it with your hands so you just know which is less and you just remember it really good, right? So the radial is a bit more less, and ulnar is, yeah, it's a really good one. Now coming to the next point, radio-carpal joint structure. Now here it is formed by radius and radio-ulnar discs as a part of triangular fibrocartilage complex. Yeah, remember it as TFCC. Yeah. Now, which is proximally, and scaphoid, lunate, and triquetrum distally. As you can see here, TFCC is here, which is proximally. This is distally, right? Scaphoid, lunate, triquetrum. And here as TFCC, which is triangular fibrocartilage complex, consists of radio-ulnar disc and various fibrous attachments, providing what? Yeah, support to the distal radio-ulnar joint. That's simple, huh? Yeah. Okay guys, now coming to the next topic, ulnar variance. Now before I'm just going to start, I'm going to say something out of the text. Now, as we all know, maybe our parents saying, or maybe we see in some movies and all, that things has to be in a balance, right? It has to be always in a balance. It should not be too much or too less. It should be in a line, as you can see here. It should be in a line. So, what happens if it just goes too much or too less? There will be consequences to it, right? There will be problems. There will be problems, not consequences. I mean, yeah, both are the same. Problems. So now let's start, shall we? Ulnar negative variance. Shorter ulnar than radius at distal end. Abnormal force distribution at radio-carpal joint leads to potential degeneration known as avascular necrosis of lunate, which is Kienbock's disease, right? Now coming to the next, ulnar positive variance. Longer distal ulnar than distal radius. Positive variance is associated with impingement, as you can see here, right? Too much, if we just wish for too much, what happens? It starts to kink us back. Look, it's impinging, right? It is just scratching it of TFCC between ulna and triquetrum. Midcarpal joint structure. Articulation, scaphoid, lunate and triquetrum proximally, and trapezium, trapezoid, capitate and hamate distally. Proximally, distally. Complex as it has overall reciprocally concave and convex configuration. Functionally, distal carpal row moves as a fixed unit. Union of distal carpals also results in equal distribution of loads across the various intracarpal articulations. It has separate fibrous capsule and synovial lining. Distal row contributes to 2 degrees of freedom to brisk complex with varying amounts of what? Ulnar or radial deviation and flexion or extension. Then coming next, distal carpal row leads to foundation of transverse and longitudinal arches. Carpometacarpal joints of fingers. Articulation. Distal carpal row with second to fifth bases of metacarpals, supported by strong transverse and weaker longitudinal ligaments. Deep transverse metacarpal ligament covers second to fourth metacarpal volarly. Thus, together the MC heads and prevents excessive abduction, which contributes to carpometacarpal stability. Coming to next, CMC, which is carpometacarpal joints. Okay, joint range of motion. In the articulating surface, more range is available to MC heads. The mobility increases from radial to ulnar side of hand. Second to fourth carpometacarpal joints are plain synovial joints having only 1 degree of freedom, flexion, extension, whereas fifth carpometacarpal joint is a saddle joint with 2 degree of freedom, which is also flexion, extension, then abduction, adduction, and limited opposition. Second and third carpometacarpal joints essentially immobile, considering to have 0 degree of freedom, as it provides fixed and stable access for first, fourth, and fifth MC heads. Ligaments of wrist complex functions: articular stability and guiding and checking motions between and among the carpals. Dorsal ligaments thin and numerous, volar ligaments thicker and stronger. Ligaments extrinsic connects carpals to radius and ulnar. Proximally or metacarpals distally intrinsic interconnects the carpals. Okay guys, now coming to the next topic, muscles. Now this is one of the topics that you just got to know. Like, this is not that important in the aspect of biomechanics, they may not ask, but it is good to write some add-ons on the paper. Like, if you want to write something more on the theory, you can write that this is the muscle helps in this and that and that and this, you know, just know the actions and functions of it, because it may be essential for you in anatomy also too. So maybe in dissection also it may be helpful for you too. So just learn them. So without stalling you, I'm just going to say, to provide a stable base for hand while permitting positional adjustments and allow for optimal length tension relationships. Now as you can see here, the lumbricals is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is muscles you see in between the fingers, and as you can see, opponus pollicis, abductor pollicis, brevis, these all are something that you have to know. The digitorium, everything, you have to know them. So yeah, just look on them too. Okay guys, now coming to the next topic, Palmar arches. Now this is one of the topics that you all guys have to know, because it is said in exams. Like in this year, they have asked about plantar arches of foot, which was asked in the supplementary exams of physiotherapy, and it may be in the next university exams they may ask Palmar arches. It's for sure. Like this time they asked 10 marks, I think, prehension, so that I'll be seeing the next coming slides. So yeah, so let's keep going. The function of the fingers, carpometacarpal joints, and their segment is to contribute to Palmar arch system. Proximal transverse arch, where concavity formed by carpal bones. Distal transverse arch, where formed by first, fourth, and fifth metacarpal heads and is relatively mobile. Longitudinal arch, transverse length from proximal to distal, as you can see, right? Deep transverse MC ligament contributes to stability of mobile arches during grip functions. Very much true. Now coming to the functions, Palmar arches helps the palm and fingers to structure themselves optimally to the shape of the object being held, allowing maximum surface contact, enhance stability, and increase sensory feedback. Muscles crossing CMC joint contributes to palmar cupping. Hollowing of palm accompanies finger flexion, and relative flattening of palm accompanies finger extension. Okay guys, now coming to the next topic, prehension. Prehension activities involves grasping or taking hold of an object between any two surfaces of hand. Prehension is two type: power grip, as you can see, full hand prehension, and precision handling, finger thumb prehension. You can see here power grip, precision. Power grip precision. The thumb acts as a stabilizer to the object held in fingers or palm. Skillful placement of an object between fingers or between finger and thumb. Forceful act resulting in flexion of all finger joints. No involvement of palm. Faces. Opening of hand, positioning the fingers, bringing the fingers to the object, maintaining the static face, opening of hand, static face, opening hand. Object is grasped to move through space by some proximal joints. Fingers and thumb grasps the object to manipulate it within the hand. Thumb is generally adducted. Okay guys, now coming to the next topic, power grips. Cylindrical grip is the first one. It involves use of all finger flexors such as flexor digitorum profundus, interossei muscles, flexor pollicis longus and thenar muscles. Primary MCP flexors. MCP means metacarpophalangeal flexors, abductors and adductors. Then flexion and adduction of thumb, typically with the wrist in neutral or extension, and slight ulnar deviation. Example is turning a doorknob, holding portal. Good. Now coming to the next one, spherical grip. It is similar to this cylindrical grip but greater spread of fingers to encompass the object. More activity of interosseous muscles are present in this. An example is holding a ball, hook grip. Function primarily of fingers. Major activity of flexor digitorum profundus and flexor digitorum superficialis. Thumb, it is in moderate to full extension. Example is carrying a briefcase. Lateral prehension, contact between two fingers, MCP and IP joint, metacarpophalangeal and interphalangeal joint, which is in extension as metacarpophalangeal joint simultaneously. Abduct and adduct. Then extensor musculature predominates. Example is holding a paper. Okay, now guys, let's go to the next slide. Okay guys, now coming to the last topic of the video, precision handling. In two jaw chuck, one jaw is thumb and second jaw is by distal tip, the pad or the side of finger. Now coming next one is pad to pad prehension. Pad or the pulp of the thumb to the pad or pulp of finger. So metacarpophalangeal and proximal interphalangeal joint of the finger, which is partially flexed. Distal interphalangeal joint, which is extended or slightly flexed. Thumb carpometacarpal flexion, abduction and rotation. Metacarpophalangeal and interphalangeal joint is partially flexed or extended. So example to this is holding a forceps. Tip to tip prehension. Muscle activity almost same to pad prehension with some alterations like interphalangeal joint of the fingers and the thumb have range and force to create full flexion. Metacarpophalangeal joint of opposing finger deviates ulnarly. Example is holding a pen, right? When you hold a pen, you can just observe that it just goes ulnarly. Then pad to side prehension. between thumb and side of the index finger. Thumb more adducted and less rotated. Example is key grip or lateral pinch. Congratulations on completing wrist joint, and good luck on your exams, guys. And please do subscribe the video and like and share it to your friends. And until we see next time with next video, peace out.